Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, man.
me had a post up things, man, and when me post it, man, when me sitting there, when me put in I, come cut and paste and put things in I. And when put up, nothing I put in I. Might even know them disappear. I have to take it back down and do it over again. Caption, title, everything. Live? Kick your dollar right away.
Hold on, I have to put up the title and thing them in it.
You can kick off right away without that. And that can come after, man.
Yes, I. Greetings and welcome to the Perfect Balance Chart class, a place where conscious-minded and like-minded individuals are guided towards the full realization of their true potential through collective reasoning. We have with us today Okavango, Yaga, aka
Yeah.
Teacher Ma'at. I'm your
Yes,
student
I.
at Stada. Bingi is on a mission for the past couple of moments of the time, but Bingi is also a part of the Perfect Balance Chat class, and him just on a different motion in the moment, you know. So what going with the item?
You don't know what there, you know, brother. Go and hold it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
man.
It's an next strong end, you know.
Yeah, man. It's a great energy. Give thanks for the moment. Um, Okavanga, what do you say?
Oh, there, give thanks, man. I do work same way, you know.
Yes, sir. Great energy.
All dirty work, nobody no want to do.
When I know dirty work, you know, it's a hopeful work, you know.
Mm,
Yeah, it was a, cause I just find out, say, people do the dirty work easy, I know.
dirty work easier.
No, I say you find out
What do
that
you mean?
people do the dirty
Then the
work
dirty word
easier.
people are here laughing and joke. And entertainment people are here,
Yeah.
that them don't want to hear about history, no, them don't want to
Mm.
hear about culture and them
I clean work them, no,
identity. You know.
man. I
Mm?
clean work them there. And then they them time pretty close and go do.
Mm.
I work you have to go in at the nitty gritty and go in at go in a place where them no want to go. So now see them up. So they
Mm.
no want to hear. Yeah, man, I grind this, man.
Yes, I.
Mm. But you are deal with.
I do the right, you know, brother. I do the right. Can't do
Yeah,
more than that, you
and
know.
nobody with the nobody with the Ras mama thing, answer.
Are you with a little foolishness? Yeah, so this strong we see them seal up the 39th seating of the African Union meeting conference. The African Union or AU is a body within the continent of Africa made up of the leaders of certain member states of the continent who come together towards a
How
strategic
many
planning.
countries? 55 countries?
I think it's 55.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so I think they come together towards a strategic planning towards the African future. Sustainable is a word I keep see them using. Sustainable African future, you know. Currently, I think they're talking about a 2063 agenda. So I think they're giving themselves um like 40 years, something like that, to get certain things correct. So sometimes when we hear about these things too, we think not much is being done. We think that a lot more can be done. So you know, it's good to see that they're dealing with long term planning, but we also want to see some short term improvement at the same time as well. You know, they can't just put all the planning long term. You know, see it. So
Yeah.
so that is one thing I'm always pray towards the thing as well. But what the item took out of the conference, the reasoning with the AU.
Even before we go in our we take out it, we always a beat up the African Union as a lion without teeth, because a lot of things are going on the continent that they should play an integral role in solving these disputes and these resolutions. And they are non-existent when it comes on to certain issues. And one of them problems is that they've been funded by some of these institutions, which makes it difficult because it's hard for you to criticize and be critical against your boss because they might pay your bills and they will lock off the funding. But what I take out of it is the fact that the focus of the 2026 AU summit was on reparations and colonialism. And there is also an alliance with the African Union and in terms of the African countries and the Caribbean, where they're aligning their focus on the reparations and slavery as a whole. So that is what I take out of it, really. And that's a big shift and that's a big statement coming out of the union.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I wasn't following everything that was going on in the US. I saw some headlines. And the reason why I wasn't following is because of the past. I don't really follow them because the EU they don't do much for me. They don't do they hear you, I say hear you, right? They hear you. They don't do much for me. Right? It's like they've been around and it's just like African leaders get up once a year in Addis Ababa to just, meet their old friends and talk and drink and have a good time. You hardly see anything come out of these meetings. They're always making these plans. We don't see nothing. You mentioned long-term plans. And you're right. We need long-term plans. We need mid-term plans and short-term plans. And this was a 39 sitting. So meeting for 39 years and Africa is still in the same place. From the first meeting, I struggle to find the what they have been doing for the whole 39 years.
Right.
We call it the progression or the good, whatever good they try to do is very, we call it minimal.
It's done on paper. Whatever goes in the meeting, people goes in and people come out.
Yes, that's it.
All right. So one of the big up stepmaster, one of the things that when you look on the site and you look on the optics of everything, right? Yeah, and it kind of just to bring a little laughter as well to it. When you refer to it as the EU, just looking at them at a glance, it's very easy to think that you're looking at the EU and not at the African Union, because I counted how many of the leaders were in traditional wear on the picture.
Yeah.
That is something that stood out for me as well.
Yes.
I noticed that.
I'm like, how the hell are our leaders, right? At something that is supposed to be promoting African sovereignty, African
culture,
organization, African structure,
African leadership.
right? And only 5 people are attired in traditional African wear. 5 men. The women, I have to give it to the women, they do a much better job of representing the African culture through their wares, because you see them in their African wares.
So you're saying
men, I
was right to say EU. I was in the European wear.
So that was one of the first things. This was one of the first things that jumped out at me when I looked at it, right? Another thing that jumped, yeah, go ahead, Okavango.
I can't remember the exact incident, but this incident raised its head again, in some country. I can't remember,
Well, when
where.
you look it up, man, and pull it up and then move
Yeah, all
forward.
right, let me try and find it.
Yes. So another thing that jumped out at me with this 39 sitting was the fact that you had representatives from the UN at the AU. You had representatives from Palestine at the AU, right? And I
Italy.
and Italy. That's the one I was trying to remember. Italy from the A at the AU, right? And nowhere in my realms can I grasp why are you having a conference speaking about African development, and yet still you have outside powers, outside people up from outside the region sitting in these meetings. That should not be. I don't think that should be. You can have separate meetings where you want to
On the
discuss.
sidelines. On
No,
the
you
sidelines.
not even sidelines, separate altogether. Separate altogether. When it comes to the AU, this is supposed to be something that's strictly dealt with from an African perspective. And whatever is discussed there should be private, top secret. There should be clearance levels for having that information, because that is the only way you can move forward, right? That's the only way you can move forward. You cannot allow your plans and strategies and agendas to be known by the people who have a great desire and interest to keep you in the positions that you are.
By the enemies. By the enemies.
Exactly. Exactly. So I don't understand how we're having these meetings. And I understand the importance of
Diplomacy.
diplomacy, communication, reasoning, all of these things. But I'm saying that at the infancy of the planning phases, that is supposed to be something that is strictly for the member states. So that was something that I looked at and I said I didn't like that in it at all.
Yeah, yeah, those are things. Those are things that I look at, and with Italy being there, they are the EU representative. And as you can see what's going on now, EU is under a bit of threat from their main rival and their main what I would call them, their main
Competitors
person the main person who is loaning them their money, or who they are in debt to USA,
or the
and
financiers.
their financiers. Yeah. So we see where they are scrambling now for their survival, because they've gone all gonzo and Russia, and it's backfired on them, where they've coined this frame to say, if you are not at the table, you are the meal. If you are not sitting at the table, you are the meal.
Mhm.
And we find out that a lot of things now USA is pulling away from, a lot of things, and asking EU to take full responsibility and pay for their upkeep and support out of their pocket, which they are struggling to do at the moment. And Marco Rubio, in his speech at the Munich 2026 summit, remember this, Munich 2026 summit in 1894. That is where they carved up Africa. That is where the plan was designed to carve up Africa. And Rubio, in his speech, was encouraging EU to be bold, to be brave, and start recolonizing again, and take steps to secure their 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 um their lucky and their allies, basically. So
And this
I
is
didn't
Marco.
really appreciate. them having a seat at the table because they are not serving Africa's interests. They are serving the EU interests, and they just come to eardrop and hear what is going on without and pay lip service really because they don't really do much for the development of Africa.
And this is Marco Rubio, the USA Secretary of State.
Yeah, man.
Right.
One and the same.
I can't find it. But I know that some issue did raise again where some African politician wear them traditional wear and face criticism for wearing the African attire going to like assembly.
Again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
So it's like, so Stepmaster says that's the definition of neocolonialism, and I have to agree with that. But at some point we have to decide that we're going to step away from this. We see a lot of talk being made in terms of a long-term plan for the development of the continent, right? But something that I was looking for, and I have been looking for, right, is what steps is the AU taking towards eliminating these taxes being paid to our former colonial masters because they no longer have these colonial rights over these land masses, i.e., France gets all this money in a year from these various African countries, right? What
Up
is
to
the
about
AU?
80% of their GDP goes to France.
Okay, so what is the AU doing about eliminating this unjust practice? Stop. I don't see anything of that in the report on the AU, and I think that is something that has to be addressed.
I mean, like something like because one of the main thing, where some of the like West African countries they use the financial system is backed by France and the France currency, so they would have to move away from that financial system.
Well,
and
it better keep your money and move away from that, It better you keep your money and move away from that. More than just to keep that, you go give them all your money.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is the AU have to create something like the euro. You know what I mean? Like the euro currency.
Right.
I them think they want here.
And facilitate the printing of it as well.
No, yeah. But we have to create everything about it should be
Africa,
Yes,
sir.
Everything about it should be Africa,
Yes,
so say just like how them have for their money, this is Africa money,
Yeah, and we're responsible for the production of it. So we
have
to look to another country.
The only way them can move away from that is creating something for themselves.
Yes,
and we always talk about it like Africa need to produce more, and like we need to produce your own things and stop getting things from outside. And that is one of the things then what we need to produce your own money. Like you know what I mean? If we start first.
Yeah, man.
You know, have your own money.
That, then we can step away from those practices.
Yeah.
Why a country will already exploit you, right? Withdraw so much of your resources, so much of your human resources, so much of your wealth. We come to a stage where we say, okay, you can no longer do that, but then we're still paying them because they did that.
Because it never end.
It don't make sense.
It didn't really end that. It's just the name change.
True.
Yeah, the name of the exploitation changed. It become business.
Colonialism.
Let us look at some of the key proposals that came out of the African Union. One of them is a formal recognition and the legal framing, where the official recognition of slavery and colonialism as a crime against humanity. And the next point under that is the development of international and legal frameworks to pursue accountability. So that is point number one. And let us look at what that means for Africa and CARICOM, when they recognize slavery and colonialism as a crime against humanity. So they are looking to pursue these using the legal framework that exists. The UN, to pressure them in UN, to pressure them at the ICC, to pressure them in diplomatic talks, to pressure them when they're having negotiations about trade and other issues like that.
Right. Just before I respond to that, Stepmaster made a comment to say that because of the desire to create this currency, they eliminated Gaddafi out of Libya, right? We agree with this. We agree with this. However, we understand that in bringing about these changes, there are going to be risks attached. Risks are going to be attached to it. And because risks are going to be attached to it, then we have to understand that we cannot worry about the risks attached to it. We have to worry about the results attached to it. So whatever aims we have, that's what we have to focus on. We cannot focus just on the threats or the risks. We have to focus on the results. So we know that this cannot continue. There are going to be risks attached to it, but we have to just do what we have to do, right? So as we talk about now, what the point that you raised, Yaga, in saying identifying these acts as a crime against humanity is a major and a bold move, right? However, with the implementation of something of this nature, this then gives us a footing for us, as we just discussed, to move away from paying these reparations to these colonial powers for these crimes against humanity. Because basically that's what we're doing now. We're paying them money for committing these crimes
Committing crime
against
against
human.
us.
Yeah.
For committing crime against us.
Yes, and we're paying them for that. And that is a big that's what you call a slap in the face. You understand? Because they committed a crime against us and we're paying them for committing this crime against us. And this is continued. You understand? This is continued. So, I think that's a bold move. I think it's a necessary move. But not only should it just stop as an categorization or identification of it as a crime against humanity, but this should also lead to a further development or progression in the reparation discussion.
So that takes me on to point number 2, where they are seeking financial reparations. So the argument is about compensation, and the discussions are tied to the economic underdevelopment caused by colonial extraction, the infrastructural deficit, and the health and education gaps that exist as a result of these financial reparation framework that they are looking at. And they are also considering the development funds linked directly to historical arms. So whatever funds they want to talk about, it is going to be linked to the arms that were done historically.
Okay.
And point number 3, it calls for debt cancellation or restructuring, reform of the global financial system, seen as an extension of colonial era inequalities. And point number 4, it is talking about cultural and heritage restitution, a return of the looted artifacts, repatriation of human remains. Imagine that. Human remains are still in Europe to this day. To this day, they're holding on to it and don't want to return it. Museums, partnership, and shared custodianship agreements. I don't agree with the shared partnership and custodian agreement.
I
They
don't
need to
disagree with
return the loot. They need to return the loot that they have
Yes.
stolen.
But with that one, Yaga, right? How I think they should go about it is this, right? Africa needs to establish these sites. I don't necessarily want to use the term museums, right? These sites where these
Atrocities.
artifacts are commemorated, right? So Africa should have the base there. But with having international links with these museums, you can do tours. You can bring these artifacts to these places on a tour, but at the end of that tour, these artifacts are returned to our own heritage sites, where that is where they are.
Dada,
Mhm.
with European artifacts or anybody else, they have nothing like that?
I don't know if they have
Are
anything
the
like that.
artifacts leaving the country going anywhere else?
I
You
don't
have to
know that.
go to the country to see these artifacts. And that's
Right.
one of the things we bring people in the country, we bring
Mhm.
business in the country. So the thing need
Right.
to be in Africa where people come to Africa to see it. If you don't
Right.
come to Africa, you cannot see it.
But I don't see nothing wrong with doing a tour of it either. Because that also brings people awareness to it. And not only bring people awareness to it, it also promotes people to come to this. Because when they do the tour, you let people know that this is the whatever name you're gonna attach to it, you're gonna say this is the Kemet Archaeological Foundation's tour
Wha-
of this, right?
One of
So
the
it
biggest practice between museums is that they loan out these artifacts, they
artifacts,
loan
right?
out these items
But we're not loaning them no more
between
because we
each
never get
other.
them back on the loan them.
Yeah, so that is probably a model. Well, we never loan it to them, they loot them. They looted them. So they
Right.
were never loaned.
Hmm.
So they were looted.
Right. So because
And
we know
and
that
I
they love
can't
loot, we can't
understand
loan
their
them.
morality.
Hmm.
I cannot understand their morality in holding on to these and saying that it's better if we keep these artifacts. It's better if we keep these remains so that people can't have closure. And that means a lot to them, you know. Just imagine a European deceased in another country and their remains in another country. How emotional that gets for them. And how deeply concerned that is for them as a people.
Right.
And they would need to have closure. And they will be crying their eyes out to evoke sympathy and evoke emotions as if we don't have feelings, as if we don't have emotions either.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one that is institutional reform. Push for reform within UN structures, global financial institutions, trade systems viewed as structurally unequal. And I mean, we need to stop fighting for these organizations because Africa, over the years, has never been given a seat or given recognition at these forums, at these platforms. And we see with a shift in the multipolar world where trade deals and trade arrangements are being made through BRICS and countries in the global south and countries from the Gulf countries who's got massive wealth funds that they are investing in countries right, left, and center. When they come to trade with us, just like how Trump used tariff and war to bring people to the negotiation table, we need to use reparations and apologies and the loot and the artifacts. When you come into the table to negotiate for trade, you have to bring these things, come
Yeah,
to the
man.
table
In order for these things to
for
go
us to
forward.
first and foremost sit down to have a discussion.
True.
So that issue need to be resolved first. The artifact needs to be returned first.
Before we
Yes,
can go
sir.
forward.
Yes, before we start talking about anything at all.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So justice. We're talking
Before
about justice.
before trade.
Justice need to be served first
Before
before we
trade.
can become friends. We
True.
cannot become friends and they're still.
Or even we're not friends, because I don't even know if we can become friends. But
But
before we
if
become partners,
we're talking diplomatically.
before we become trading partners.
Yeah.
Mm.
Before we
And
start talking them with justice need to be served first.
yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, because
And,
the
and
damage is already done, you know. And just like Iran and the US, you see where They are meeting in separate rooms. I have run between the rooms carrying messages because they cannot sit in the same room and have a conversation and sorting out the issues they are having because of trust issues. We have trust issues because we've been let down many a times by these people and they've never hold their end of the bargain. They always move in the goalpost. So these are the sort of ways we need to deal with them, man.
One thing I have to say, you see, when they're trying to find these new relationship with the European Union or Europeans, African leaders have to be careful because Europe, as always, they always try to leech on Africa. Some way, somehow. They change the name, but they find another way
they
to
don't try. They always leech on Africa.
leech on, right? They always find a way to leech on Africa, right? And we have to make sure say this is not another
form of it.
Yes.
True.
So now Europeans they're back against the wall and they try to find some other way, you know what I mean? Somebody has to leech on this because they leech on everybody. They leech on the US, they leech on Africa for certain things, they leech on South Asia for things, you know what I mean? So now because the US push them away, they want to find other, avenues. And we have to make sure say any business we are doing with them, it's either 50-50 or no business. Or we are getting better in it. Because but we cannot get the worst in at all. And as Yaga said, all the little we call it discrepancies or whatever, they need to start out for the little
all the issues. All the issues
all them little issues them man.
Have to be addressed. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And corrected. Not just addressed, but corrected.
Right. So before we can talk.
And next thing too, Stepmaster said there can only be justice between equals, and that's a very powerful statement because of the fact that they do not see Africans as equals, they believe that all these things that they're doing is justified. And until they see Africans as equals, then you will never be able to avoid the things that happen. So that's a very strategic and important point. As it relates to the trade thing as well, another important point that came out of it is that they're pushing more for this inter-Africa trade as well. And this is something that has to be a major part of any agenda or strategy that they're implementing, right? And they're also talking about the as it relates to the UN, they're addressing the Security Council issue, where you have the veto states, these states that have a seat on the Security Council, and I guess their issue is that Africa needs to have a seat on the Security Council in the UN, a permanent seat, for that matter, I would imagine. So that was one. Well, those were some of the things that they brought up out of it. But like I'm saying, it's good to see the leaders maintaining this camaraderie of the AU. But what we want to see is we want to see the implementation of short, medium, and not only long-term goals. So we want to see the addressing of issues that have been going on for too long, i.e., the return of the artifacts, i.e., desisting from paying these unjust taxes to these colonial powers. These are things that need to be addressed short to medium term, not long term.
With the issue of a permanent seat on the UN, right? I think it's full time now, like Africa take a stand, African leaders take a stand on it. Like, why are you still going to the UN, sitting there, and have no power at all? I think I feel personally, I don't know how
it's a day out.
How it work, but I feel like them go take a stand.
It's a day out to be a part of the pomp and pageantry that does not serve your purpose.
Yeah, because if it not serve a purpose, you keep on and say we need a seat to make, to be a part of the decision making. You're talking over 1 billion people don't have a voice. And
even
you still
though
go to sit down there and
even
beg
though
them.
these are an organization that was established to split justice and put the wrongs and make them right, but it's still not serving our interests, and we're still showing up there because we still have respect for these institutions that is one-sided.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes they don't even get to make a decision because countries do move unilaterally in taking actions against other countries or weaker states, so to speak.
Yes, sir. Stepmaster says, I wish you all would read Walter Rodney before talking about Africa. This is just something racist American politicians would say. So I'm not really quite clear as to what um, you're saying by that. If you're saying the points we're making are those, but I would like to just highlight that we are basically doing a review of the points that arose out of the AU, the 39th sitting of the AU, and we're saying these are things that happened that we thought were good, and these are things that we thought were not good, and these are things that we thought or needed to be a part of it. So
So
these are
I
just
think in
views.
terms of highlighting the work of Walter Rodney, remember Walter Rodney is a Guyanese
Mm-hmm.
historian who wrote about the underdevelopment
Mm-hmm.
or Europe underdeveloped Africa.
Right.
Yeah, so probably that's the perspective that she's coming from. But we don't understand already how Europe underdeveloped Africa. And that is not the main point of this discussion, but highlighting some of the main talking points that came out of Europe. So I kind of understand what the viewer is saying still, because Walter Rodney is one of them one like Malcolm X and Sheikh Anti-Joe upon them one day, you know?
Mm. Yes, sir. So I think we've come away from the significance of radicalization of this issue and this struggle. I think what we have to be is strategic. We have to be intentional. We have to have a clear view of what we want to accomplish. We have to be aware of the necessary platforms that we're going to use to accomplish these things, and not just be quote unquote radical, because radicalization leads to isolation as well. So if you're isolated, then you can't accomplish anything. So we have to know, say, we already been through the stages where people were doing things from a radical point of view, which sometimes is necessary. But what I'm saying is we're at a point now where we have to use diplomacy, we have to use organization, we have to use centralization. These are the tools that we have to use now.
And that is where we see the Caribbean now
Mhm.
and the AU is uniting, is showing a united front because the Caribbean community meets, I think, next month, you know.
Mhm.
And these issues that were discussed on reparations at the African Union, they will be raising these issues and aligning them along with the 10-point plan that the Caribbean community has highlighted because they have been the most structured and consistent voices globally on reparations over the last 10 to 20 years or so. And I know that Professor Bickles from the University of the West Indies is at the forefront of these discussions from the CARICOM standpoint.
Mhm. Yes, sir. Um, well, we're really not really in the ism and schisms, you know. So the things that we are dealing with are the things that Haile Selassie I set forward and forward to iron. You see it? These
One
are
of
the
the
things that we really are dealing with.
as me tell some me never to follow up the AU.
Mm-hmm.
So me never did they talk about Africa security?
Yes, they did. They spoke
Yeah,
about
man.
African
What
security
them say
as
about
well.
that?
Sovereignty, security, water, and all them
In
things. There.
terms of what they are viewing towards ending the quote unquote terror in Africa. Their slogan as well. They should have all guns silenced. You know, that's the slogan.
Or
But I
all
don't
gun
know.
silencing with terror?
Yeah, you know, like
Or just with war?
with
With
the
war.
wars, and both of them with the wars,
Okay.
on
And
unrest,
insecurity on the continent.
insecurity.
Because to get any all those things we talk about,
That have
security
to
is
address a major
have to be
issue.
addressed first,
Yeah, man, major issue.
Business can't go on when war is going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we know in the Sahel now we see the rise of terrorism,
Mm-hmm.
and it keep on rising.
Mm-hmm.
Burkina Faso have more terror attacks now than anywhere other country on earth, more than even Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Because the French are trying their best to make an example of them so that the other countries don't even think about becoming a part of this alliance. And this is one of the things that stood out in the summit for me, because I don't think the Sahel countries were a part of this
I don't think so either.
summit of the African Union, and they had the cheek to invite the UN and invite the Italians
Mm-hmm.
and not invite them. Can they be a worse enemy for the African Union than the Italians are?
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine?
I don't think so.
So these are the things I was talking about. Where I said this was appalling to me. Like how this happened, and I understand that.
Yeah, because these are the things where I think should be like security and war of words where we can lead to war, like what's going on in between Ethiopia and Eritrea, the Congolese Rwanda thing, because that's still going on under the surface. You know what I mean? All those things that Africa Union should have started them thing there,
Mm-hmm.
Or you meet to them thing there, because right
Mm.
now,
And they also speak about that as well in terms of I guess securing security operations or security divisions that would address those things as well. So I guess that they're looking towards a military arm to the AU.
okay,
Yes,
because I'm
they discuss about that as well.
'cause the last thing I heard in the Tigray region, they are, you know what I mean, battle lines are drawn, and it
Mm-hmm.
seems like there ought to be some terrible thing going on there.
That's another unrest.
Another unrest, you know what I mean, on the continent, and we don't really want them thing there. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So them thing that we want to see come from the EU.
Yes, sir. Real AU.
Keep on saying EU, right?
All right, but we talk about the
I
EU
jack it on time. I jack it on time, man. I jack it on time, man.
since you want to talk about the EU. So
I jack it.
some of the responses from the EU countries over the years. Let us look at some of the key themes for some of these responses from the EU over the years. So they've acknowledged but are resistant to legal liability of the crimes and the atrocity their ancestors has committed. They've made symbolic gestures versus structural compensation. Fear of financial precedent because they don't want to start paying reparations to one country, then you find out that it escalates and they go broke. But we've got experts who have done the calculations and look at what it means in today's terms of how much it would mean if there is a financial payout. And I want the viewers to remember and note that the reparation does not only include the financial element. There are different elements of reparations which we've talked about constantly on this show. Big up Brother Dulani anyway, our reparation expert. They've also talked about the legal complexity of the argument. And there's a debate angle where Europe does not feel like they're morally obligated. And should reparations be financial or structural or both? That is where Europe start to complicate things. Rather than finding a solution to deal with the issue, they find a reason for not dealing with the issue. And with the advent of innovation and technology, these calculations, these projections, and everything can be done easily and seamlessly if they really want to settle the issues and take responsibility for their actions.
But as Stepmaster is saying, for these things to happen, we have to be coming from a position of strength, because they're not going to give us anything unless them see the strength.
Real talk.
You know what I mean? So we have to, them have to know, say, okay, if this don't happen, then we're not going to do business with you. But that it takes strength to that.
Yeah.
Because
and not just strength, but planning, proper planning.
Yeah, I'm planning.
Because you can't say you're not going to do business with these people, but they will implement things who are going to pressure you. So you have to have an alternative.
Alternative.
To know, so
Right.
this is how you go deal with it.
So that's why it's going to involve I and I.
Go on, Yaga.
It's going to involve I and I, Stepmaster, and everyone on the continent and in the diaspora and friends of Africa to stand up in solidarity with Africa, because just like we've seen when they've tried to rock the boat earlier last year, when they made an attempt on Ibrahim Traore, and we see Black people around the globe rise up in solidarity and stand up for the Sahel region and Ibrahim Traore. We don't see that sort of support for the African Union and Africa. So each one of us will have to stand up. The Black family will have to stand up. The wealth gaps will have to be closed. So they have to connect it to all these things. They have to connect it to the Black unity. So Black unity have to become stronger, and self-determination has to become priority in the goal for us to show that power and that strength for them to take us serious. Because if we're only waiting on the leaders to do this, it's not going to happen. If we're only waiting on the trad class to talk about it, they will come and benefit. It's not going to happen. So everybody has to put their shoulder to the wheel and make that sacrifice as well.
It's not about talking either. And this is the point where I say it's not about talking either. It's about
doing too.
Organization. It's about centralization. You get what I'm saying? So we have to have a plan that we're going to move to collectively, where we are going to use strategies towards accomplishing these things. So if we're not doing those things, it don't matter how radical we are, it don't matter how militant we are. If it only stops there, then we're going to be in the same position we are 100 years from now. Understand? So this is the point that we're making, that we understand that everything is not ideal and everything is not what we want it to be, but we have to have a plan going forward. We can't just, this is how we want it and that's it. And then the people suffer.
The Black print is there, Dada.
It's there. It's there.
The Black print is there. Marcus Garvey left the Black print.
Yes, sir.
The Sahel region is showing the Black print where they are taking control of their sovereignty.
Yes, sir.
They are manufacturing on the ground and they are adding value to the resources. So they are adding, instead of only sending their resources, their minerals overseas, they are developing them on the ground. And that was a major talking point from Mahama, the Ghanaian president, where he calls for Africans by 2030, they should start making things on the continent. Like, for example, chocolate. Ghana is one of the biggest producers of cocoa. But they don't make much money out of it. The farmers doesn't make money out of it. But they are planning.
Same thing in Ivory Coast.
All of the countries with their resources, all of the resources that they have, it's the same problem along the continent. So the governments, the leadership have to take a stance, and they have to start developing these infrastructure, developing these industries, and adding value to the resources so that they can make the money, because the money is being made when the gold is processed into jewelry.
Yeah, they spoke
that
about
is where the money
addition.
is being made.
They spoke about value addition.
When the aluminum, the bauxite is processed into aluminum, that is where the money is made.
Yes, sir.
So stepmaster, you're welcome on the chat class, because you know what I mean, it's kind of hard for you to read and attack same time. So you're welcome. Just tell where we can drop the link,
Yes.
and you're welcome on the for voice. You know what I mean? Because that's voice, we have voice where we know our opinion on what should happen, right? So if you have another opinion, we welcome you on the chat class same way. Man, join us, man, and so you can make the people them know same way.
All right, stepmaster is a bit of process to get to here. If you drop your email in at the link, we can send you an invite now, and you can join the chat class. Just drop your email on the chat, and we'll send you a link. And you join and come and
And
share.
voice your opinion.
Yeah, man, because
Yeah,
we
man.
welcome your opinion. You're a loyal member of the chat class, and you have a lot to say. So we just want to connect. And if you can send it in the email, same way, if you have the email address, send it in the email, and we can send you an invite straight up, and you join the reasoning.
Can you take
Because we
it?
need some different voices, we need some different opinions, and we need some woman in the chat class, man.
Yeah, man. We give thanks to the reasoning, man, and we welcome a difference of opinion. You get my answer? Because when we have a difference of opinion, then we have the opportunity to, come to a mutual understanding. So we just want you to know, say we already we're not liberal, we're not McCarthyist, we're Pan-Africanists. But what we're saying is, if we keep doing the same things that we've been doing, we're going to get the same results. So we have to look at doing things differently. And ultimately, I see that as being radical, doing something differently, So that's how it is. But we do give thanks, man.
Yeah, man, you have different levels to radical. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And we are here in being radical right now because this is not the normal, you know what I
Reasoning.
mean? Where people go. You know what I mean? So we are going out of the norm. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that called radical the same way.
Mm.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
African
man.
unity, African upliftment, Africa, everything good with
For
Africa, it
Africa.
we are deal with. So once it's
Yes,
good for
sir.
Africa,
Move
that we want.
forward.
And we're not
Yes.
there talk like I said, we know everything that should be done. And I mean, we just
Mm-hmm.
want good to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we want anything good for Africa, it we want. And I
That's right.
mean, whether
That's
we
right.
can think about it or somebody else think about it or somebody else's idea, we just
Yeah, man.
want
I and
Africa.
I.
Huh?
I and I.
Yeah,
The,
Africa. We just want
the
Africa.
I
We
bring
want to see Africa
I
rise.
and I.
Yeah, we want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. We want to see Africa rise. That's what we want. You know what I
Yeah, man.
mean?
Give thanks.
So
Yeah, man. I will give
anyone can
thanks.
make Africa go to the level where we are seen as equal upon the earth. You know what I mean? Equal in every
Mm-hmm.
room where them stepping in.
Mm-hmm.
Adapt. Adapt we are push
Right.
for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I just said the man, so we do give thanks, man, for the moment, and we do give thanks for this opportunity we can discuss issues that affect African people. You see it, and looking at ways that we can move forward. So, something what I like for ask Stepmaster, something what I like for ask Stepmaster is what do you think should be done to correct the issues that we face as African people? So that's something I'd like you to drop in the comments so we can read it, so we can see what your views are. What are your views? What do you think needs to be done? What are the radical changes you would like to see made? You know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Because and that's interesting, because as human beings, we value different things, because
Mm-hmm.
some people would want to see the financial system change first. Some people
Mm-hmm.
want to see the places more secured. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
First, people have different things what they would like to see in Africa, and maybe all of them is valid because all of them need to be, you know what I mean. But
Need to be changed.
yeah, but some things. you know what I mean, for me, it's more needed more than some. You know what I mean?
So he responds by saying unity under socialism, but we have to fight for this. Unity is a broad, term, you know. You know, unity is a very broad term. And when we look on the concept of unity, right? When we look at the concept of unity, the only thing that unites people, melanated people, globally, is their attachment to Africa. There's nothing else currently that aligns all melanated people outside of their attachment to Africa. Now, a great number of melanated people choose to separate themselves from Africa. So once you have that common thread, right? Once you have that common thread being broken, what then unifies them?
Is that a question to Stepmaster?
Is that reasoning?
Yeah.
Is that reasoning? Because he responds and says not all, but I am putting it forward that the only thing that unifies all Africa, melanated people, is their origins in Africa. Whether we agree with
You
it or
accept
not,
it or not. Yeah.
that is the only point of unification currently. We cannot unify under religion. We cannot unify under politics. We cannot unify under culinary things. We cannot unify under you name it. You name it. The only thing that connects us is the fact that we are all African people. And until we can realize that, then we will not have unity. So if we're not able to have unity, does that mean then that we stay in this position? Or do we have to find alternative means of moving forward as a people?
Well,
You know,
Dada.
Hmm.
I mean, I know one way to find unity though.
There is not one way to find unity. So that's why I'm saying that unity is a broad. I'm saying unity is a broad solution. We're going to say,
Yeah,
that
but
unity.
if you have the same thing, we have to find some kind of unity,
Right.
right? And the unity can be that all of us want, as African people, want. Many people want to use, say, melanated people because, you know what I mean, Africa come with different complexions and different textures, you know what I mean. But just like we talk about security, all of us want security, so that's can be a unifying force because all of us want security. All of us want stability, sovereignty. You know what I mean? So we can unify on it. So, and we are talking about them things that we are not at the moment. We are not unified on them things there, right? Just a simple thing as trade. We can be unified on the trade because now we have countries who are neighboring countries and they don't. The trade is minimal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we can unify on a trade. There's other things that we can unify, but
so what would cause these people to want to be concerned with security in Africa? A person who is in a person who is in the Caribbean, the Afrobean, a person who is in Brazil, a person who is in in Europe, a person who is in the Americas. What would cause them to be concerned with African security?
So, all right. So once you identify as an African, right?
So this is the point I'm making, that the only thing that unifies us is our connection to Africa. So in order for us to be concerned about African security, African trade, all of these things, we have to have an alignment. We have to have an attachment.
Alignment to Africa. But when I say who don't like even them have the complexion or them have the history in Africa or the heritage in Africa, if they don't align themselves with Africa, they are just not a part of the unity.
Right.
So you have to just unite with who want unite.
Right. So this is the point I'm making when I say that when we use a blanket statement to say unity is it? We cannot just look at it and say unity because we've heard for this call from so long. You understand? And we don't see this happening, and we see the conditions getting worse and more dire every day. You understand? So we have to understand that we have to come up with different strategies to accomplish this.
What do you mean
Because it
different?
have to be accomplished.
I'm not sure I understand you. We are say different from unity.
No, different strategies in terms of, like, for example, we're not gonna be united in this, but we agree that we need to stop paying taxes to colonial powers.
So we can unite on that.
Right. You understand? Yeah. But in order for us to do that, we have to know, say, we are African people. And agree, say, yo, we are dealing with African empowerment.
Easy.
That's what the unity is. So until we start to do that, there is no moving forward.
Before we wrap it up, see, I want to highlight a thing because a lot of times we are some prominent people and some people who are in some position. Every time we talk about reparation, money is what come to their mind.
The sticking
point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they might say, oh, if we get money, it's gonna be waste like we always waste money. We don't have any use of money. That's what black people do with money. They don't have no use of money. But we want to make them know, say, money is not the only feature or aspect of reparation. I want to talk about some of the other things that are involved in reparation.
And before we even go into that, Yaga, we have to push back on the notion that say if they give black people money, black people are going to waste it, you know. Because I do some racist talk in that, you know. Because just like
black people have said that, black people have said that, brother.
Yes, yes. So I see them thing. You know what I mean? It a come from a racist point of view. Them just say what other people are, what racist people are say. You understand? I learn them things.
That's necessarily factual, Albert.
What?
Because I think black people collectively, if you look even in the continental United States, black people get them get one of the largest amount of money passed through them and as a ethnic group. But you know, see nothing collectively happen.
One of the large amount of money passed through black people and
yeah, man. Collectively, you know. Collectively.
Don't
but the money does not stay in the community.
That cannot be true, Virgin.
Why it can't be true?
Black people are the poorest people in America. So all them have the most money. We are talking about, man.
We never said them
have the most money. A lot of money pass through them.
So if they pass through them and that means them a whole money. Black people now hold the money.
Yeah, them a whole money. But that's why we don't own nothing. That's why we don't own nothing.
Regine, if the most money now pass through black people, that's black people. Regine, what they think with black people because they not have money now pass through them and what we say that, man?
The ordinary black people, no money now pass through them, but as a community, a lot of money pass through the community. And the money,
if people them when money pass them and them now put it to good use, but no, man.
The money is not circulating within the community like other communities who develop themselves and own things.
Yes, we know that is a problem in the black community, right? Where the money now stay at the community. Any money come in stay in there long enough. That's a problem. So but me know say Dada, if you as a man will not stay them way there, get your part as a black man, get your partition, you're not gonna waste it on foolishness. And that me I say, if me get it.
We're not talking about from an individualistic point of view, brother. We're talking about
no, but Dada. So
right?
I'm here to say
is
yeah.
What we are saying is collectively, again, in order for we go to the money part of reparation, we have to have a plan how to deal with that, brother. We have to have a plan how to deal with that one.
And we know that,
right?
Me I say.
Right. But I don't even think that at the point where Yaga really make still, you know, I think say much try to show say reparation is bigger than the money. So we don't want to get stuck on the money part again neither.
We know I don't want to get stuck on it neither. I don't want to get stuck on it, you know. Me only want to make the statement say give black people their money because means say we are going to waste it. And even
if they waste it after their money.
After their money. That me I try.
And I just want to clarify one thing about the point where you make about racist. A black man cannot be racist based on how racism is
defined,
designed and how it happened, because it is basically based on institution that control the development and the welfare of black people. And since we don't own any of them things, we cannot be racist because we don't control anything that control their development and their progress.
I'm not share the sentiment, but we can go on.
Yeah. So some of the issues that surrounds reparation beyond money is cultural restoration. So we're looking to restore the culture to where it was back in a them time, the economic sovereignty.
And more so where it should be, Yaga. Not to where it
Yes,
was, but where it should be.
Yes, I.
Right.
Economic sovereignty, institutional reform, educational control, narrative correction, correcting the narrative that has been framed around Africa and African people, and the psychological healing, which is the most important part of the damage that has been done, because a lot of people are still walking around with the trauma that has been affecting them from them time till this time, to the extent they want to forget about the whole history of what happened to us as a people. And in my travels and my experience, I don't see anyone or any peoples who try to forget about their history and forget about their culture. So we just want to make that clear, that these are some of the key features of reparations. And the Caribbean has got a 10-point plan of how reparations should implemented and how it should be carried out, so that we're under no mistake about what is expected and what should happen. So point number one, full formal apology from former European colonial powers. Not just expression of regret, but legal acknowledgement and responsibilities. Point number two, the reparation program, support for descendants who wish to reconnect with Africa, because you have some people who don't really want to have nothing to do with Africa, you know. Descendant, yeah, descendant.
Mm-hmm.
You have some people who don't really want to have nothing to do with Africa, you know, and them comfortable where them is.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus Garvey did say, like, some of us won't be good around here anywhere, so you better we stay where we are, based on where we are, you know?
Where they are.
But, yeah, where they are. Yeah, man. Rightly. Point number three, indigenous peoples development, support for our communities decimated during colonialism. So that is point three out of the 10-point plan. And we go to cultural institution. We talk about this already. Funding museums, research centers, and education program that is basically based on African content and African knowledge and African traditions. Public health initiatives, which is point number five, addressing chronic disease linked to plantation era trauma and poverty. Education and technology transfer is point number six, where they are suggesting scholarships, and there are a few scholarships out there. We want it to be grounded in African knowledge and African development. Not only Rhodes Scholar, because Rhodes Scholar, them are deal with the same European traditions, the same European customs. Like, and you know, Rhodes are the man who used to control Zimbabwe and them place around this, Rhodesia. So we don't want none of them scholarship, them scholar. We want scholar that is
Or
having
even if
scholarship.
you're getting the funding still, you change the name. Because we're not supposed
Yeah,
to
man.
immortalize them people.
No.
Yeah, man.
Change the
In an
name from that. You
African
see?
anthropology, archaeology, and them something that we are go research our history, research our culture, so that the people understand. So we have a life before slavery.
Yeah, man. Big up Stepmaster. I look
Psychological
like him lift up. So
rehabilitation.
we say, give thanks to the moment, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Give
man.
time for passing through, give time for the, you know what I mean?
The
Make we done
input,
the
you know?
set the 10 point, brother. Make we done
Yeah.
the 10 point.
I got to, Yaga.
Psychological rehabilitation, which is the recognition of intergenerational trauma, funding cultural and historical restoration. And point number 8, debt cancellation, framing current debt burdens as connected to colonial
Yes,
exploitation.
sir.
And since they are the one we are going to lift up. Yeah, man, but the people them need to know. So there's a framework out there to deal with all these issues that we are talking about. And if they are them not familiar with the framework, they need to familiarize themselves
With it.
so that they understand the issues
No,
more
we never say
clearly.
we are lift up in a Yaga. We just say that big up
Oh,
Stepmaster because him say him a lift up. So we are say big up
okay,
Stepmaster.
okay,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, man.
Now, we
Big
don't
up
cut you,
stepmaster.
we don't cut you like I will cut you for a while.
we not so brave.
Another always say we don't cut you, but he cut you.
No, you always say so. You always say so. Me say pray thee.
Yeah, right.
Pretty. Yeah,
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 man.
man,
brother,
So
people
brother,
know we
great
know these
energy,
things
man.
and a perfect time, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Black History Month,
Yeah, man.
you know what I mean? We there
Yeah. So we are
enlighten the
call out to
people.
the AU. So wear some African traditional clothing when time and I got sit down for the AU. So. Yeah.
Brethren,
yes, sir.
you know say
Even
RDB
the
AU more
African
about the fire
parliament, you
pan.
know?
Eh?
RDB the AU more about the fire pan. One time me I take in some, you know what I mean? So we leader them.
Mm-hmm.
We entertainers them way, you know what I mean? We the people them we are push for African liberation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see them I got some formal thing. So them beautiful jacket and tie them in a brethren.
Mm.
They not so the formal thing run, brother. Them not proud of them African wear, you know.
Brethren, I no matter about some people, we are say, oh this brethren here, I push African. Yeah, me now hear Yaga.
We there see a way, man.
Okay, me hear now. Me I say, all them people are push African liberation, I push African unity, I push African everything. But when them are present themselves in a European attire.
But I go take piece of the fire that still now Kavango.
So when me
share
dash fire, me dash fire, me not partially, you know.
Me share a little experience at the you know what you have an event. So me say, you know what? I step out in an African suit, you know. Brother, I go hunt African suit, brother. None of them can fit me, bro.
In the tailor.
Nothing, eh?
I can link you with one
Yeah,
tailor, you know.
forget the tailor made,
Nothing
tailor
can fit
made.
me, brother. Nothing can fit me, man. I said, I mean, me find some proper one, you know, I nearly say bad. But me find some proper African suit, you know, that the proper, you know, nice, you know. But can they fit me, brother?
You have to get
Me
them tailor
link
made.
you pan my people them because them are go to business, but in link with that tailor. So maybe, you know. But Regine, one of the person them we want to highlight, Sizzla Kalanji. Regine, a man we talk about so much about Africa. Every time we see the man in a formal setting, the man just like a European.
A diplomatic mission. A diplomatic mission, the man depend, you know.
You know the funny thing? You know the funny thing as I talk about a Sizzla? When Sizzla just a forward, you know, a low and African thing him out here, you know, nah, deal with no suit and tie, you know. I just in the past, I say in the past, more be lenient as about between 5 and 10 years. You see him gone in this direction, yeah.
But it seems like I'm just good at now, Regine.
Yeah, man.
A jacket and tie. Every time I see the man a jacket and tie, I say,
yeah, man.
It's like Kalanji, I say, him the leader, Rastafari, and the Africa, everything. Always, every day you see him formally.
And like how you have burn a fire, you have to do, remember say you used to burn up and big up, you know. So you have to do a big up to you know. So you have to big up a Capleton, you know.
Bridging.
Yeah,
You
we
never
pick up a
ever
key-
see
we-
them
we-
the man there and then the man they not look like an African.
Yeah, man.
Never
We pick
ever.
up
Capleton
a
have the more than
Capleton.
tail, brother. And the more than shoemaker, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Bridging.
Yeah, man.
Personally, I don't like it.
Mm.
Just like we don't like see the EU people
The
leaders
AU,
them.
the
And so we don't
AU.
want to see the leaders them where we are pushing African liberation same way.
The
Because
AU.
say EU again? EU again? But we can call them EU, man.
Because the EU are fund them.
Yeah, Bridging, I must say, just like how we don't like see them.
Mm.
Because we need to, I just say, need to start from, where
Mm.
them are come so and make we feel like an African. We
Yeah,
say,
man.
yo,
Feel that pride.
feel the
you
pride,
know?
and it change at the end of the stream first, and then we can come so boom and go to school. The school them start look like an African school now, and that look like some Italian school or some
But
English school.
again, it come to vision to Kavango, because to how long a Capleton, right, of this dress code for himself. Him should have a clothing line long time.
We don't
This is
want,
what
we
we
don't
talk
want,
Probably
we
not
have,
have one, you know,
This
have
is
a
what we
clothing
talk
line,
about when
brother,
we talk
but him
about
have him
value
own
added.
tailor, we design him own
yeah,
suit them.
we don't want to beat him for that still, because he might already do something right already.
No, we're not beat him, And a beat, we're beating. We're talking about vision, and we're talking about value added. You see, man, we're
Yeah.
about vision, and we're talking about value added. So, man,
But
say,
Dada,
yeah.
Well,
people
that is a
want
good business
ready-made
idea for
clothes
you.
to wear.
Mm-hmm.
People want ready-made clothes to wear. They're not interested in the sort of clothes that Capleton is wearing. Or the fashion of Capleton, you know.
But there are people who would want to wear it.
That is interested and can't find one.
There are people who would wear it.
The order from Capleton, man. Capleton have him anything they merchandise, you know.
But hey, listen, Capleton himself not have to create a clothing line. There are people out there doing it. Go to my African people, my African so I get my suit them from. He's going out of business because him say nah get enough business in a community where you have a lot of Africans.
Yeah,
It's
but
about Africans.
The challenge what them face with that is, you see, the Africans like who are directly from the continent, like they do not buy that stuff here because there's the markup is
Too expensive.
much. So what they do is whenever they go home, they get their stuff there. So that is the next thing what I'm have to consider. Say, yes, we love it and want it and thing, but you can't mark it up so high as well.
Yeah, but that not for them same way. When now go home, them still now buy it. Louis Vuitton and Gucci them about. Yeah. Because that make them look better. You understand? That make them look rich. Or whatever them want look like. So me see my African brethren are married right here, and a lone European setting. Yeah man, all white. European setting. Yeah, and an African born, him and him wife born African, they all them family African.
Because of how them view the what is classy, what is nice, what is beautiful, you know. That is how them view it. Because them no view their own traditional thing as, you know.
So, we know say other problem. Yeah man, but who wants them think them more, Bridget? I mean I say, who wants them think them more? If you say you're an African leader, if you say, you know what I mean, you're a Pan-Africanist. At least when you're dating family, look like we are say. Yeah man.
Yeah man, I say,
if I even want dashiki.
I say, what day, brother? What day I say, I go for the event, brother. I'm going to go and look. I think, bro, couldn't find nothing. Still have to go jacket and tie, bro. You see it?
Because you have a jacket and tie, man.
No, man, I have to get a jacket and tie.
Have you get one?
Because I couldn't get nothing on my size, bro.
Shagos t-shirt.
You couldn't go without the tie, Dada.
About 10 years now, I say no more jacket and tie, no. Because I go to an event one time and I just look like everybody else. And I not even like how I look. I say, no, never again, man. Never jacket and tie again, man. Once me I go formally, anything, Yeah, man, me have to look like an African.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I.
Which is a
Proud
great
African.
step
Only
back.
proud
Because
African wear them here, brother.
when me gonna wear ours, you know, I see European them come on, they never look like African to me. They never look like Haitian. Them look like African. You ever notice all the Haitian them? When them a go anything farm, leaders them attack.
Them traditional thing.
Traditional wear.
Mm-hmm.
Woman
Traditional
in
wear them in.
India, them not them Syria, them man, them not
Yeah.
them, you know,
Yeah, man, which is right.
traditional
And
wear.
it looks so
Which is
beautiful.
right. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why our African leaders them in a jacket and tie.
Colonialism and
Yeah,
No,
man,
neo-colonialism.
and them
go
are
wrap it
ban
up, you
because
know.
remember say Kenya ban the
The
when him
wear.
again?
Their traditional wear.
It was not traditional wear, man.
The kimono.
It's an
What
iconic
name?
wear. Kimono.
Hindu, something like that.
But
It
them ban
started with K.
from the assembly.
Mm.
Yeah.
From them parliament. Them ban from them parliament. Because I like it was a revolutionary really wear it, make it be popular.
Mm-hmm.
So when you wear it, it's like it's a revolutionary. Them ban it. Crazy. You know, Africa, them a ban African wear. Craziness, man. Craziness. Who was the five? The five leaders them wear them wear. Dada? You know them?
So I never identify them. I just look on the picture and just count. I never ended look and say who it was. I just count in the picture. Go up on the picture, man. You recite it. Go in the chat and see the link. And you see the picture and you recite them. And you recite them.
Because you might African Union.
You big them up.
Yeah, you have to big them up, you know, because 55 country and 5.
Kaunda. The Kaunda.
Kaunda.
The Kaunda suit.
Because everyone will tune in and join the discussion, man. You know what I mean? We say a Black History Month and we talk about everything black. Everything African.
You know, go on big up somebody in a Black history and one of our hero, you know. Yeah, man. Let me see if I can find her. I have a little thing. Can't find it, sir. Can't find it.
Well, you have to find it. You find it? Well, you have to find it. We want to bring up one of the heroine them at this time. Mia Motley. She get re-elected as the leader of Barbados. We have a bigger up because she are one of the people them right now where hold the fort.
Vocal.
Yeah, man, very vocal and she out there do the work for African people. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, we love me and Matley, man, so we want bigger up. We are talking about big up hero in them. You guys not find your one yet?
No, me not find the thing, Rasta.
What's your
Me
name?
not find it. It's up on my phone. It's up on our phone there, brother. The phone where me
Me and Motley something there. It's a clean sweep she get.
Yeah, man, clean sweep.
Clean sweep, brother.
Clean sweep. When the build up to it, me did wonder if it go more closer to the talking points, them and whatever, but it wasn't even close, man.
Clean sweep, brother.
Wasn't in no danger.
Clean sweep, brother.
Yeah, man, and she deserve it. Like a leader like that. And them kind of leader that want say a lead.
Uncompromising.
Yeah, man. And them leader who want say, and them you know what I mean? You know, them always just say she have more balls than the rest of the men them in the Caribbean as the only. I think was there another one? I remember the only female Caribbean leader. The lady in Trinidad. Which is the president or the prime minister? I think Trinidad now have a leader, right?
Yeah.
I think Trinidad prime minister is now a lady. Both I think both the president and the prime minister are women in Trinidad now. So she's joined by someone else. Yeah, man, but big up me and Matley, man. Gone. Yeah, so
you gotta look for the thing there. But yeah, but me and Motley, Yeah, the Kamla Prasad Bisisar, that's from
From
Trinidad.
Trinidad.
And it looked like Dominica, Dame Eugenia Charles,
Oh yeah, they know a lady.
the first female prime minister in the of the Dominica, you know. Yeah.
Big them up same way.
So,
Sometimes we need some female energy, you know, in the room them
no,
fi.
she was back in the day.
Okay.
DM Charles for Dominica was back in the day.
So right now we just have Mia and the lady from Trinidad.
Yeah, and you have Christine Kangaloo, the president of Trinidad and Tobago, that Cora
Yeah.
Richardson had, who is a prominent political leader in Anguilla. Emma Lynn Pierre, leader of the opposition in Grenada. Penelope Beckles, notable opposition leader. So those are just some. Oh, what? So the opposition leader in Trinidad is a female as well.
Wow. So the opposition, the
Absolutely, yes,
president, and the prime
And the
minister.
opposition leader, the opposition leader
The
is
opposition leader, the
and the
prime
prime
minister,
minister,
and the president are females.
females.
That's nice, man.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. We want to big up Alice Parker, pioneered central heating in 1919. So this is the lady who is responsible for her work in keeping you warm
In
in
the
the
cold
winter.
months. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Big up.
Alice Parker,
Big up.
1919 Empress.
Viewers and subscribers, type in who want big up. Now the Black History Month, yeah. You know what I mean? Which Black History you want highlight? Type it in and we sound it out.
Yeah, man. I will give thanks to the moment, man, because, you know, we just keep our eye on things, keep our fingers to the pulse, and keep the viewers informed, you know? So, great energy, great reasoning. Give thanks to the moment. Give thanks for the positive feed forward, you know? Give thanks for the opportunity that we can do this because, in our time to come, we might not even have these opportunities. So now that we have the opportunity, let's make the best use of it and let's implement these plans and strategies that we need to move forward so that when the tide shifts, we are in a position where we are able to continue this work, this much needed work. You
Yes,
know?
right.
Yeah, man.
And the
So,
people them don't have to be afraid of reparation because it's not a revenge, it's just repair for I and I to realize that certain damage was done. We have to embrace it, repair ourselves,
and move
and move
forward.
forward in the traditions.
Yes, I.
I want big up everybody out there where this work, yeah. Cause I know we alone are whole heap away out here.
I
I
do it.
try to
You know?
liberate minds of
Yes, sir.
African people. I try
Mm-hmm.
to get back African people, repatriate them mentally.
Reparate them mentally.
Repatriate metabolism.
Repatriate.
Yeah. Because you have to do Africa first.
Okay.
Up as first. You have to
Okay.
start thinking
Okay.
about Africa first before you even go
In
back
your
the
event
way I say.
before,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So mentally, we are trying to repatriate them to stop thinking European and start thinking African. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Start thinking everybody else and start thinking like an African. So
Mm-hmm.
at that what they are do I try to, open them events to Africa. You know what I mean? For them have that African you call it. Think good about
Mindset.
Africa. Yeah, man, African mindset. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just like you know what I mean? Yeah, people we talk about that like a Jamaica. Love Jamaica and talk about Jamaica like the best thing in the world. And you know what I mean? Proud Jamaican. That's how we want people to be. Proud
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 Africans.
Africans. You
Yeah,
know what I
African.
man.
mean?
Yes,
Proud
sir.
to say African. Proud for wear African attire. You know what I mean? Not feel like you gotta look. You gotta look a certain type of way. Being an African. You understand? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for joining ones and ones. Thank you for joining the chat class. We're happy to have you.
Mm.
You know, as being part of the chat class. Become a member and support the initiative so that we can bring on some guests because there are some people to get them expertise and get them for coming to the chat class and speak. Them not speak for free. Them not do the work for free. And we alone like idiot are there. I do the work for free and not charge nothing. Every
Well,
weekend we give up 2-4 hours for do the work and we don't charge nobody nothing for free because this
Yeah.
is part of our historical duty and our historical work
Our duty,
to serve the
our duty,
continent and serve Mama Africa.
especially
Yeah, man.
as brethren there, me talk about this all a while. As brethren there, we are our ancestors, and anything our ancestors feel for do now, we have to come continue to make them think they're right, You understand? So we have
Yes,
to make
sir.
things right, But they go wrong with the ancestor, So we can't
naturally.
just sit down and hope for somebody else do it,
Naturally,
And we have to
naturally.
fix things, you know what I mean? Because we are our ancestors and our ancestors are we. You understand? Yeah. So I say go.
Yeah, man. Big
Work.
up Campbell 4255. Big up to the Perfect Balance Shot Class for presenting these important topics. This is the only channel I see doing this. Big up Jerry Nelson. Proud to the bone. Big up Simbara Shimaswaza. Yeah, man. Fire.
Call
Yeah,
him
man. Big
again,
up
Dada.
yourself. Eh?
Call him again.
I tell you one time, my tongue. Love me. Simbara Shimaswaza.
Yeah, from what? Uganda?
Look
Uganda in
like
the
it.
building?
Look
Is
like
that
it.
Uganda?
Look like it.
Yo, me have to go try for me Uganda brother. What am I say? When they represent Uganda, big up Bobby Wine,
Every time.
And
He
big
lyrics,
up
big up Bobby Wine every
Museveni.
time.
Big up Museveni, Him just to do the right thing, free up the people, free up the country so we can benefit from the resources, eh? Yeah,
Yeah,
man, big up
man.
my
Big up
bridge them for
Nals.
Uganda. Them not really
Oh.
out. We call them name in our chat class.
Zimbabwe.
Simbara share is saying a Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
A Zimbabwe. Yeah, man. Big up yourself.
Yeah, man. One Africa, man. One African unity.
Yeah,
Every
man.
time.
Big up Nals. Big up Nals.
Esti to my brother. You may have Simba go have a chat now. Esti. I agree to up in a show now, I don't know if I'm a show now or my dem belly. Thing get wicked and all for me I'll draft the radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
We draft the radio. We draft the radio now. Me not from Uganda, I'm right from Zimbabwe, Right is from Zimbabwe, I'm an artist from Uganda, so you don't know it. Yeah, man.
No, I cover the globe.
We talk about Zimbabwe here, right? Oh yes, we talk about the whole the farmers.
The totem. We talk about the totem.
Yeah, where they appeal to the US.
Yeah, the white farmers and thing in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, we mentioned the white farmers and we also talk about the totem first day.
Yeah, man,
where the name themselves.
Big up Zimbabwe one. Zimbabwe come back to a rightful place as
yes,
you know what I mean.
Powerhouse.
Powerhouse in Africa.
Man, powerhouse, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, Zimbabwe one of them place there where you have to appreciate love,
Yeah,
and one of them place that will get one European name, and change them name and give themselves an African name,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Because enough of them hold on, the African country, them hold on upon the name with the European name give them. But Zimbabwe, one of them will go back to them African name.
True,
Zimbabwe. Even the people, them last name, it kind of sound like, you know what I mean? It sound like it.
Yeah.
Then I got you to remember, say,
Yanga. Simba, she said their totem is Ilan.
Ilan.
Their totem is
Which
Ilan.
animal is that?
Which animal is that, Simba Rasha? Yeah, but what did I say, Yaga? You say something?
May I say you have some mountain, in Zimbabwe, brother. You see, if you don't seek permission from the elders to go in them place there, you all going to start missing, brother. That's why we were reason about Maroon of a compound where I say, yo, the people them to stop disturb the sacred places because some of them places is sacred. And you have places like that in Zimbabwe where people will go brother and disappear.
That's
That
the
are the
Eland.
Elan. Okay, bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up Zimbabwe in the house. Yeah, man. So we are learning about history and we are learning about the culture. So if you want to join the trad class, let us know how we can connect and we can connect and you talk about the culture and the history of Zimbabwe
Yeah,
because
man,
we want to share the culture.
we need some people on the ground in Africa to join the
Yeah,
class
we
and
need some people on the ground
talk
to
about
connect
the
with. So,
country.
Yeah,
We
man.
know what's
yeah,
going on in Zimbabwe, we know what's going
Naturally.
on in Uganda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I link up the thing, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Make you think. That's why we say one perfect balance, you know. Because we are link up the thing, you see me? And they say that
yes,
because
sir.
in Iowa, when time we want to have a chat class in a Zimbabwe, we're supposed to can go link with Zimbabwe, you know. And know so we are do a chat class on film ends, you know. You get my say?
Yeah.
Or we can do run a Nalts. Or we can do link up with Jerry Nelson. We're supposed to kind of do these things in our time to come and see
This
it.
is the real AU.
Mission. Yeah, man.
Real AU. African Union. We will not be wearing any European attire. African attire. And I mean, that's real
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Africans.
I. Yeah, man. So we do give thanks to the moment. We do give thanks to the ones who joined us for the reason this morning. You know, and look forward to our next reason. We want to also see if we can start doing more lives, like not just the once a week or twice a week. We want to see if we can, you know, attach somewhere like in the moment when certain things happen, we can adjust it, do a impromptu live or stuff. So keep tuned.
There are
Make sure you,
circumstances that I know everybody busy and this are the
mm,
best time in I and I. So,
yeah,
we
yeah,
have to
man.
inconvenience I and I so that we can do something and the spur of the moment and when
Yes,
things are
sir.
going, let's
Yes,
see.
sir.
You
Yes,
know?
sir. And we
So we have
also
to join
remind
the
the item.
conversation,
Mm.
you know?
Remind the item to hit the notification bell so that whenever we
Yes,
do
I.
these lives, you're gonna be notified at that moment, you know. Because I remember when we was on the road to 1K, you know, how eager we were to be able to access the live feature where
Yes.
we could actually have these things so we can have that interaction with the viewers as opposed to a delayed interaction, you know. So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
very happy for that. And we just want to see the thing grow and see the thing maintain and progress.
And
And we want
progress.
everyone to know, say, that is the mission, progress. That is the
Yes,
mission,
sir.
Yeah,
you
man.
Yes,
know.
sir. Perfect
So
balance.
just keep share and share with like-minded people, people would want this continent or people you think
Because
would,
as you talk about that to Okabonga, something I've always want to address as well is this. I want us to overs that this content, this type of content, is not something that is going to be pushed by the algorithm. This
no.
type of content is not something that is going to be promoted by the algorithm. So this type of content, in order for it to get to where it needs to be, everyone who is a part of it has to tell their friends about it. You have to tell your friends about it. You have to tell people who you think this would
Share with
benefit
them.
about it so that they can join in, they can view, they can become a
You
part
know,
of it
you
so
know, it's
that
not an
this thing
easy
can grow.
discussion. It's not an easy discussion or an easy reasoning, Dada. So them thing are gonna take time,
We'll
So
know,
you
but
don't need.
this is why we're letting them know that an important part of the journey, an important part of the child class is that you tell people about it. Because
That is what I'm referring to.
the more you tell people about it, is the
Hmm.
more it is going to grow. And if your intention, like ours, is to see this movement grow, then this is something that you have to do. It doesn't cost you. It's not something that's gonna put you at an inconvenience to say, oh, it go cost me money or anything like that. But I'm just saying that we need that support, we need that assistance in order to get this information, this message, this very important work to the people who it needs to get to. And how that happens is with your input. So give thanks to the item, give thanks for the moment, and rise up, African people, rise up.
Rise up, African people, every time. Rise up.
Rise up. Love
Yeah,
and
man.
one unity. One love, one unity. One
And one
Africa.
Yeah,
perfect
man.
balance.
Don't
That
know.
is it.
Yeah, man. Give thanks to the moment, you know?
Until such time.
Yeah, man.
Next week
Yeah,
again,
man.
live again.
Next strong.
Next strong.